I came to Powers to study energy policy. Not the engineering aspect of it now, but the policy. There was something the former Central Bank of Nigeria, Charles Soludo, said in one of his outings. So he was like, sometimes political expediency overrides economic rationality. He is an economist. And what he meant by that is that you see economists, they are policymakers. They make sound economic policies regarding the monetary sector, the exchange rate, the interest rate. But at the end of the day, because the final decision lies with the politicians, they cancel it. Why? They are not canceling it because it is bad, but they are canceling it because it doesn't serve their interest. And that is a problem. Now, as an energy policy person, let me come back to my field. As an energy policy person, I believe I've learned a lot of things that Africa really needs in terms of policy. To me also, is my opinion, we already have wonderful engineers in Africa. We have beautiful innovators in Africa. But as well, I feel that sometimes the policy aspect that will, like if you are implementing energy technology, there should be some policy processes that will go through before these innovations will come to limelight. So I feel that that part of policy is still lagging behind a bit, especially as it relates to renewable energy policies, policies pertaining to feed-in tariffs, policies pertaining to micro, mini grid, nano grid, and all of that, policies pertaining to a smooth transition from the fossil fuel to the renewable energy. So these are some of the things that I've learned here, and it would be needed in Africa, especially to the millions of Africans who currently have no access to electricity. Then on a wider scale, Powers gave me the opportunity to meet Africans from different African countries, 20, 30, thereabout. I've also learned, not really the language, but I've learned a few things from other languages. And this skill could help me in solving the problems of Africa, because as somebody in the energy sector, I may have a business, I may have a connection that will take me to another African country. And possibly those cultural aspects of that country and the language I learned may enable me to stay there and then implement whatever energy thing I want to do there. And so I believe I've learned a lot, and it can help Africa a lot. We need more practicality. There are courses that are classified as professional courses, engineering and stuff like that. There are some other courses that they are seen as normal courses. And I feel that practicals or practicality can be included in all the courses. There are real life experiences that could be included in some of these courses to make them worthwhile. So, one of the things I believe could be improved on in this our educational system is make people to see what they are studying. You are talking about solar system, you are talking about solar panels. Take people to solar farms, take people to solar companies, let them see these things. You are talking about the banking sector, for instance, or you are talking about the stock market. Take people to the stock exchange of that particular country. Let them see how the stock market works and so many other things. So there's a lot we can do, because one of the things that remains after the whole process of education, after going to the university, is the things you were able to practicalize. I can categorically tell you that I may not be able to remember my notes of maybe final year or third year or something, but there are some remarkable moments. There are some things I learned in terms of practice that I know that I can, as an economist, I can still talk about them because I learned them deeply. So if our system can be more practical, then it will do us a lot of good. For instance, a mechanical engineer Maybe he has not gone to a lab where he's able to, let me use dissect now. Let me use a medical term. Dissect the engine of a car to understand the component, and is able to fix this thing. So you end up seeing engineers at the end of the day, or civil engineers who have not even done something, either an internship or anything. They don't know anything about structures. The highest they can do is to say it or to talk. But now, when the chips are down and then you call them to practice what they have learned, it may be so difficult. And you don't blame them because they didn't have the opportunity. Unfortunately, some of the people that taught them, it may be how they were taught. So what do you expect? Most times the barriers to any novel thing is maybe when you talk of financing. Because, for instance, if you come to Nigeria, the National Universities Commission or whichever body that is in charge of the education sector may not be able to do anything that is not provided for in the budget. So whatever thing they are working with would be whatever finance allocated to education in the budget. And they are confined because it is rarely enough. So one of the barriers I see to improving education and infrastructure in our system is financing. But if the finance is there, then it would be easier. And of course, the bureaucratic processes of the government. I normally say this, and I will say it again. Maybe because most government officials take their kids to study abroad or to study in other developed countries, it gives them this laissez-faire attitude towards the education system of the country they are leading. Because of course, if you are mandated as a president that all your children must school in the country you are leading, it should give you some sanity, or it should give you some conscience or humanity to do what you are supposed to do. But since you have the liberty to send your children elsewhere, forgetting that the places or the countries you are sending your children to were developed by people, leaders as well. So you can try your best to improve your education system, and things will become better. So when you talk of the finance, you talk of the political barriers. They are the major barriers I can see. Yes, leaders who know that they are elected to serve the people that elected them and not to serve their own interest. It's really a need. I love the way you described it. It's a need. It's a need because it is the information that will define us in few years to come. I would say this again. If I were given the opportunity to do my undergrad the second time, I would do it differently. I would do it differently because there are so many things I know now that I may not have known then. But of course, when you hear people who have passed through that particular stage of life, it should help you to, if you are still in that stage, maybe I'm talking to the younger people who are still in their undergraduate program, maybe it should also help you to learn. Education is beyond the classroom. As a matter of fact, your lecturer cannot give you more than 30% of what you need to be truly educated. So, if you really want to be a better person, or if you want to be fully prepared for the next generation, you first of all have to be in reality. For you to go to the future, you have to be in the reality. If you are still dwelling in the past, which means before you go to the future, you still need to come to the present. What do I mean by that? The world is tending towards technology. The world is tending towards IT. And the average youth, let me talk for Nigeria now. I'm being particular about my country because that's where I grew up, and I'm very passionate to see the youth to make change. So the average Nigerian youth may not have seen this. Of course, that's why you may be seeing a lot of jokes on virtually every topic, both the funny ones and the ones that are not so funny. Yeah, but then I think it's high time we started looking at the future, and it's high time we started seeing that everything may not be a joke after all. If you are a student in your undergrad, you can try to acquire more skills that are different from what you are studying. Even if you are in the faculty of art, like you are studying history and international relations, there is no law anywhere that said you cannot take up a skill in web development or mobile app development. Even if you are studying animal science, there is no law that says you cannot learn web designing. Because this is where the world is moving into. Let us even take the current pandemic that is happening today, where people are being restricted to move out. Everything now has to do with mobile app, banking, and of course, in a situation like this, the major thing saving people is technology. People can afford to do their shopping online. People can afford to work from home using any of those platforms like Zoom, Google, Hangout, and any of those things. And this is technology. So if you are studying as a person, you have to try and acquire skills in the area the world is moving to, not the place the world has passed. Because if you acquire skills that are no longer needed, it will be useless. But if you are acquiring skills where the world is going, you say, yes, this thing will be useful many, many years to come. As an undergraduate, try leadership positions. Contest for positions and lose. Lose, at least. If you lose, you learn something. You have an experience. Yes, I contested. I know how not to do this. Lead people. Go for community development. Go for sensitization and awareness. At the end of the day, you will have been fully educated and not classroom educated. Self-education is very potent, is very effective. I mean, we are the luckiest set of people, our set of people now that are going to school currently, we are the luckiest because everything is at our beck and call. Just a Google search will give you what you are looking for. A YouTube search will give you whatever video you are looking for on how to learn a particular thing. So I think self-education is very effective because we can use it to learn so many things that are not taught in class. Our teachers may not be able to teach us everything even if they wanted to. So if we learn these skills, then we can put it. You cannot imagine so much information that is in YouTube today. Just check how to do this, how to do that, and you'll see so many videos. You just choose the one you like and then you learn what you want to learn. And when you do this, and other friends of yours, because it's more like a chain in Africa here, if you are learning, if you're educating yourself and your colleagues see how much you have learned different from what every other person is being taught in class, I think they will be forced to also go the extra mile. And by so doing, the African youth will be well informed and not misinformed. We still have a lot to do. We still have a lot to do. I may not categorically say that it's all bad. No, I will not say that. Yeah, but I think we still have, there's still room for a lot of improvement, especially with the syllabus. We can change so many things that are not really so relevant today and cover up with this particular technological aspect now. Let me give you an instance. I did computer science throughout my primary school and secondary school, but for most parts of this training, I never had the opportunity to practicalize these things using a computer. So I was more or less learning the computer, like that. But if the syllabus could be changed to improve or to include the fact that these children will have to go to the place where they will practice these things, then they will have learned computer. So there is a lot we can still do to improve the system to make our syllabus better, and it should be reviewed. It can be reviewed like once in 5 years or something. So a situation where a professor in 2020 is still teaching with the syllabus he prepared in 2001. That's 19 years gap. It's not the best actually. So we can work on that.